More than a question, I would like to congratulate the lecturers because what they have presented to us is a bit what I mentioned, searching cooperation in order to obtain sustainability. And I would like also to thank the Diputación and gvSIG because very often we have lectures with development in which we never have an open software. This is now presented as a generic product that can be used by all the public administrations in the world, and this is something that we really appreciate. Thank you very much. For the last lecturer, Mr. Lopez, which are the services demanded by the regional ministry, because this is not reaching the professionals that work in this sector like ourselves. I know who was asking, which are the services required by the functional? Which are the geographic information services which are demanded? On the one hand, we have support to users for all kinds of incidences. I mentioned that we have from micro information technology. This is not working, or I need to update the product or the development of applications which have a geo component, a geo dimension, of course. Roads, expropriations. You want to know why a road is going to be done, what's going to happen with expropriation, to put that on the map where the activities going to take place. But are these internal demands from the regional ministry? Yes, no, I mean, what is the regional ministry demanding to the companies? The services which are demanded in this case, the General Direction of Information Technologies, cooperation in the participation when making those developments. So basically is that they present good offers when we are issuing bids for public competitions. Well, after your silence, I don't know if this was the answer to your question or not. Hello. Just a question for Juan, because I was really impressed in the assessment until 2011, a line opening about divorce between information technologists and geomatics that you have observed. I'm an old student and have suffered this same situation. That was always an observation, a remark. Why do you think this is happening? On the other hand, this is a nonsense because for information technologists, there is no difference between working with one or another data. So why do you think this divorce? Basically, two things. First, the workload of our colleagues. Well, we are not going to complain here or just make some complaints, but we are 200 and something, and perhaps you think with more than 200 people you are really you are in bad demand of personnel? Well, yes. In fact, so then we have personnel with workload which is much higher than the one you can handle, and that's why we need more people, and that gathers together with the second issue, the functional officers. They were doing the bids, or they were asking the cartographic, the mapping institute, and the information technologist then had a closed product. So he said, well, I am receiving this and I'm going to install it here, but as far as the solution was finished and closed, perhaps we were not so interested in looking inside and see what we should do or not. Well, this is just an opinion. I know you may agree or not.
¿Alguna pregunta más?
Another question? I would like to ask the Diputación of Valencia, the provincial authority, the degree of cooperation and whether this is translated into tools in the management of road. As a citizen, when I exceed the provincial delimitation, usually that leads to a reduction in the service. I don't know whether there is some cooperation mechanism, and whether the tools that you have developed in a way are compatible with the tools that are being developed in other provinces. Well, the objective would be that the user never sees any difference when he or she is exceeding the limitation, but the objective is that this is homogeneous and seamless, and that this can be extrapolated outside and used by other authorities, so that the citizens do not notice any difference between the road that belongs to this province or to the other province or to another administration, but this is a name. And for Juan, there is another question. Within all the tasks that exist, there is one that has to do with information technology and others which are competences of the Mapping Institute, which are going to be the differences in these both organizations, because even if we both belong to the regional government, we do not share the same structure. This is very interesting. What we are trying to do is to cooperate. In fact, there are 2 or 3 developments in which we are working together, and we participate jointly in them. With the Mapping Institute, we have a problem in the General Directorate, and it's a regulation problem. Continuing with my previous answer, the development activities of information technology systems with geographical representation was not understood, was not something that information technologists could understand as something that falls into our competences. So then they were asking for that. The Mapping Institute, within their activities, they had developed this. So then they are within a framework that gives them all competences to this regard. So the situation that we have now is that there is a legislation that puts all the competences in the cartographic, in the mapping institute, provided that this has a geographical element, but they are not providing the mapping institute with the means to do that. And in the General Directorate, they do not have a legislation that allows them to do this. And as far as the General Directorate of Information Technologies is the only one that can develop application and has the money to do that, and due to the need for graphic representation, which is growing, continuously growing, then we would reach a collapse point, a collapse situation. So which are the relationships now? Cooperation. So we are trying to mitigate this problem through the path of the facts, because one institution has the law but not the means, and the other has the means and some competences but not the necessary regulation. Any other question? Then we will close the session here, and I would like to thank sincerely the lecturers for their excellent presentations.